in our Catholic tradition, the bishops are the successors of the apostles. We know that the Lord gave a commission to Peter and the other apostles to preach the word, extend the kingdom in his name, to, in his name, shepherd the people of God. And for me personally, that's I think the primary reference point, the primary symbol of a bishop is a shepherd of the people of God. And as those apostles went out and began to establish the church, to shepherd God's people in the name of Christ, as they grew older, as they saw their time on this world coming to an end, they established heads of the churches that they had established. We see that particularly in St. Paul in his pastoral epistles, where he sends out Titus to various places, and he says, choose leaders there, choose leaders for the church. And that began to happen, in all the communities that had been founded by the apostles. So these men that were chosen leaders in the place of the apostles were, from our point of view, really the first bishops. I suppose you could say that the apostles themselves were the first bishops, but their successors, the ones they chose to lead the various communities that were established, are, from our understanding, the first bishops. And they're the ones who inherit from the apostles the mission of shepherding the people of God in the name of Christ. That's why, for us, a bishop carries a shepherd's staff. It's a sign of that responsibility given to him by Christ to take care of the people as a shepherd cares for his flock in the name of Christ. So primarily that's what the office of bishop is, the one chosen by the Lord to take care of his people in a certain area in Christ's own name. Early in the church, it was realized that the bishop couldn't do this work by himself. He was the priest, he was the prophet, he was the ruler. But as the church grew and as it began to extend in geographical distances, there was no way the bishop could shepherd that whole flock by himself. So in the tradition of the Catholic Church, other men came forward that were called presbyters, chosen by the bishop to assist the bishop in that ministry. But they always function in the name of the bishop. They are chosen by the bishop, ordained by the bishop, sent by the bishop to really extend the bishop's ministry. So it's really the ministry of the bishop, of the shepherd, that is responsible for all the people in a given area. He associates priests with him to enable that ministry to be done. So for example, in a local parish church, the chair in the sanctuary where the priest presides over the congregation, that really is an extension of the chair in the cathedral, the cathedra, which the bishop presides over the whole diocese from. So the priest presides over the people in a given area in the name of the bishop. The ordinary is the chief shepherd of a diocese. He's the one that we believe Christ uses to continue his shepherding role in the church. Again, when there is need for assistance in that role, the ordinary, the bishop of the diocese, might request another bishop to help him. We use the term auxiliary bishop. The auxiliary bishop is fully a bishop, ordained with all the powers of the bishop. The auxiliary bishop could ordain another priest, teaches in the name of the church, but he always does it under and with the ordinary. The ordinary is the chief shepherd. He is an assisting shepherd, if I could use that term, with all the powers of a bishop, but he uses them and functions under the authority and guidance of the ordinary. I think the best way to explain it would be to say that what a pastor does for a parish, the bishop does for all the parishes, for the whole diocese. So the bishop is responsible for, as we talked earlier about those three roles of sanctifying, prophesying, teaching, and governing. So the bishop, the priest does that in the individual parish. Bishop does it for the whole diocese. So he's concerned about the sanctification of all the people in his diocese. So, for example, in that area, he would be concerned with the way the liturgy and the sacraments are celebrated in the individual parishes. He'd be trying to be sure that the priests were well-formed and functioning appropriately in that area. In the teaching area, is the gospel being preached appropriately all throughout the diocese? In parishes, in schools, in institutions? Are people prepared to do that? The bishop is responsible to be sure all of that is being done, while at the very same time continuing to do it himself. When the bishop goes out to parishes to confirm, when he goes out to parishes to celebrate parish anniversaries, when he goes to parishes for other kinds of special situations, he's the one celebrating the sacraments with the people. He's the one that's preaching to them. So he continues to do that himself in those various roles, but at the same time is responsible to make sure that's being done throughout the diocese by the priests who assist him and the deacons who assist him.